Hello and welcome. Welcome to my channel. My name is Sorette Roose and I'm a Sovereign Seer and Sage. And it is my absolute joy and honor to be in your presence and to welcome you into my presence and onto the, the place and space through which I give expression to that I came here to share with others. The name of the channel is One Crystalline Home. And I would love to share with you how that came about. Firstly, and secondly, I would also just like to take a moment to share that this now moment, as you are listening to this transmission, is the new beginning, the clean slate, the moment when the birthing of the co-creation of our one crystalline home is coming into being. And I'm so excited to co-create and co-weave with you this space of grace, this spaceful place of innocence, joy, purity, sovereignty, deep deep honor and reverence, almost merge the two words, for not only being a sovereign leader, guardian, and steward of our new home that we are co-creating, but also to do so consciously with you. And although I'm looking at the screen that is capturing this transmission, I see through it, behind it, and around it, and all around me, each one of you, as we are taking our hands and standing heart to heart in the fullness and the gnosis of who we are as integrated divine humans that is here to support all our brothers and sisters to join us in this new home, community, and planetary expression that we came here to co-create. So firstly, I want to say that up until this moment, there's already a few recordings that I've shared, and it never came to me that I must make an introductory video until this morning. And now I know why. The message is just so clear that everything that I've shared up until this moment was to ground the integration of my divine and human nature, to create this strong, stable, sovereign foundation upon which I'm now starting to build. And that just excites me. As I'm sitting here, I am so filled with the purest form of joy that you can experience, the purest form of excitement that I ever knew possible, the the, the playfulness, the innocence, the the fullness of who I am. And there comes a moment in one's expansion that you know it is time to take hands. And although it might in this moment still be hands on a energetic level, I know that the hands are also being taken in physical expression. And the beauty of exploring, experiencing, and sharing that with each other is just so beautiful. And there is two things that I would love to share with you. The first thing is around what seer and sage means for me, firstly, and then secondly, the importance of all of us coming together as the guardians, stewards, and leaders of sovereignty to create this home in the center of the cosmos, the new cosmic home that is becoming the emanation into all of the galaxies and universes, because we are all in the process to co-create the original one cosmic home, to experience ourselves as divine humans, as it was always intended. So let me start with seer and sage. I am to just make sure that the expression is understood. I'm going to use numbers as we know it in human form, just to make it easier to understand. Since I was very, very small, a small little child, on human level, I remember that I was always able to see simultaneously a human form and an energetic form of the same person. Also the same with animals and plants. It was always true to me. And as soon as I wanted to start sharing that with others, I knew it was not true to them. And I didn't understand why it was like that. Yet, as I grew, age 4, 5, 6, and beyond, it always stayed there as the essence of the knowingness, that there's simultaneously a human and a spiritual gnosis of my being. And it became a little more complicated in ages where our social relationships on human form level was very valued and important to develop our human consciousness. Because I was surrounded with other children and then young adults and then adults that didn't see and hear what I was. And part of my growth and expansion and integration was around making sense of why others are not seeing that, firstly, and then secondly, then walking the human path of integrating my divinity and my humanity. And those always happened simultaneously, and I was very aware of that. And now only I know it was always meant to be that way. It was always meant to be that way. To see beyond and know the truth of what I'm seeing on a very deep cellular level, which I now know. And I know the same is true for you. That's why you are looking at this transmission. The same is true for you. And it is time for us to normalize that, to give expression and share with each other the richness of our soulscapes. Because every time when we share it with each other, something else is being activated and inspired within us that makes us remember and makes you remember. And that's where this co-creative dance takes place so beautifully. And then, so that is seer. And then from a sage perspective, that word came to me many years ago, I always heard people say, "You like a sage," and I never quite understood what it meant at that stage. There was something in me that resonated with it, but on a human level, I didn't understand that. And as my expansion has taken place during my ascension and then embodiment process, I realized more and more as it became clearer and clearer what that meant. And it was only through my full unification with my divine nature, the wholeness and the sovereignty of my formless knowingness of who I am in the presence and mergence with my divine mother, Father, Sophia, that I clearly understood what that meant, as those, all those aspects merged as the integration has taken place. And so I saw snippets, and that's what I want to share with you. I saw snippets, and only there was this one moment that the full integration occurred, and then I knew, okay, that is exactly what it was. So maybe to share it in this now moment. So as I'm sitting here right now I'm speaking from the sage perspective. As I'm sitting here right now, I am fully aware, not only for myself, but also you. I'm fully aware of, and I think the same is exactly true for you. That's why you're here. I'm fully aware that in this moment, I am there before being conceived. So in the sovereign womb of the cosmos, in the womb of Sophia, I'm present before form. I'm aware of that. And I'm simultaneously aware of form forming on simultaneously soul and human level. On soul level, I'm aware that my soul has, since moment of conception, traveled through the whole cosmos, meaning it traveled through all the universes, all the galaxies, and everywhere in our star system, and I've been on Earth. So when people refer to the Pleiades, Sirius, and all other galaxies and universes, that's that. I'm very aware that I'm simultaneously a traveler through all of that, and all of that happening in this moment on a spiritual level. So on my formless expression, and I'm simultaneously aware of before moment of conception in human form in various incarnations. So being conceived not only by my parents, by many other parents over many other lifetimes, simultaneously aware of all that in this moment. Being conceived and then moving moment to moment to moment for human body to form. And then being in the womb of my various mothers, and in that womb, all the different experiences based on all the climates and countries they were in, and how that has formed and impacted the forming of my physical body in my mother, with the genes of both parents in many, 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 many incarnations. And simultaneously aware of those formation phases and stages until birth, and then the formation and stages of growth up until 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So all the phases of childhood, adulthood, and post-adulthood up until experiencing the death of the physical body at various ages. All of those ages, stages, and phases in spiritual and human form. Awareness of that in this moment. And I know the same is true for you. That's why you are here. You might not have full remembrance of the fullness of that, but you've also know that. I know that you've also moved through all of that already. And therefore, the being a sage. So the seer that sees and knows all of that, and the sage that are very aware that on both of those spiritual and human expressions walked through it since moment of conception of the cosmos until this moment. And the realization of being here to ground the sovereignty of all stages and phases of the unification of the divinity and humanity on this new planetary expression we are co-creating as leaders, as stewards, and as guardians of this gnosis of our being. Okay. Yes, it is time. Okay. So having said that, on this channel, what you are going to receive is different expressions of that which is moving through me. And that which is moving through me is not known beforehand. It is like this morning receiving this guidance. This is to be shared. Not sure exactly what is going to be shared as I'm sharing. It is just moving through me. And then that is then put onto the channel for you to look at, and also have the knowing that that specific recording, or sometimes it will be a meditation, all of that will be in the moment that's perfect for you to receive. This I know is firstly, and secondly, the variety is not at this moment all of my expression, but at some stage it will become that. It is a gradual unfolding that is taking place within me as I am grounding that onto and through this platform, our One Crystalline Home. So what is here currently, and that I'm expanding upon, is there's a combination of poetry. So those poems it just flowed through me during my ascension and embodiment process. So some of that is there. And I've made playlists on each one of these topics. So it will be poems. There will be guided meditations that I'm guided to just share in the moment, to create some spaciousness, to take you into the inner, the most inner sacred place of your soulscape, and to ground and anchor the gnosis of that through the whole cosmos. So that's the guided meditations. And then there will be some grounding sovereignty sharings, that specific moments that has grounded something around sovereignty for me. And what I would love to include is also then some creations that I would love to share as they come up for me. I love being in nature. That's as you do. That's where I know I'm immersed in the body of Sophia, and give not only expression to it, but also then activate the energy of crystals, plants, animals, people, elements, and I'll start expressing that as well. And yeah, and some journeys. It will be a combination of expressions. And then the last part I would love to share is about our One Crystalline Home, the name of this channel. And at the time, it was just, oops, this is the name. I put it on there. And as you will start noticing, is there's a theme of roses, which is the essence of my resonance. The rose was present in moment of conception, my remembrance of that, and all stages and phases that I've been through. It's the one thing that's always been there and has played a very symbolic role in my human life as well. And at some stage, I might share the essence of the cosmic rose as well. I've shared a few poems around that already. So our One Crystalline Home is an experience I had that I'm going to share now. I think it's important to share that here. That has crystallized and brought into focus for me that which I'm here to co-create with you. So we as guardians, stewards, and leaders of the sovereignty of creation, we are here to create places and spaces of sovereignty because we know the sovereignty of creation. As a building upon the foundations of all that we've been through and remembered on a human and a spiritual level, and the integration of that. So building upon that, we are co-creating what it looks like, feels like, tastes like, the embodiment of being a divine human. And the beingness of our essence. So the unique blend of our divine qualities. Each one of us has got this beautiful blend of our qualities. And the qualities are around compassion. It's care. It is unconditional love. It is beauty. It is reverence. It is integrity. It is sovereignty. It is nobility. And as I say that, excuse me, and that unique blend is the emanation of who we are. And what we are co-creating and sharing with others is then the new homes, communities, continents of this new One Crystalline Home, our planetary expression that we are grounding through doing so. And as we do so, becomes an emanation out to all the galaxies and universes as the essence of the cosmos that we are here to ground. So having said that, so I know that is why we are here. So the very first time that I experienced this One Crystalline Home, I want to take you there, and then I want to share with you what the word was that was given to it only yesterday. I didn't know this. The signs were there, but only yesterday I heard, oops, this is what it is. Just received the guidance. This must come first. So the One Crystalline Home is the blue heart of the cosmos. Sorry about that. It feels like there's a huge clearing. The blue heart of the cosmos. That's the new oneHome that we are co-creating. And the very first moment that I stepped into this new One Crystalline Home, the blue heart of the cosmos, is what I want to describe to you now. It felt like, imagine yourself being in a swimming pool and you put your hands on the sides of the swimming pool and you climb out and onto your feet and then you stand up. It was that movement that has taken place. And that which I was climbing out from was this very light, fluid substance. Very light. It's a very different density than the one I was climbing onto. Very, very, very light. The light strands were so light and dense and intricate that it didn't even appear like light strands. It got a fluid feel to it. And I climbed out of that. It was all around me, everywhere. Almost like being in the spaciousness of the grace of our Divine Mother. I climbed out of that and I climbed onto first my hands. I felt my one hand, my second hand, and then my one feet, and then my other feet. And I was very aware that although it felt like I was in physical form, I was in fluid form. I was very aware of that. And in that moment, the word that came was, this is your crystalline body in its fluid expression. It felt like hands and feet to show to me in that moment that it's like my human body is transforming to a crystalline body, and it's more liquid to make clear to my human self that I'm still here. So it was a very grounded experience, and it was in my body. I wasn't out somewhere else. Very important, as you already know, that all expansion and transformation that occurs for us is happening within the soul scheme of our being. And so I climbed out in my crystalline body and I stepped onto this blue planet, which was a thicker liquid form. And as I stepped onto it, the words that came was, it's crystalline plasma. That's why the density feels thicker. So although it was in plasmic form, I could walk on it. Important to share. So there's this walk. I started to walk. And as I was walking, I remember I was very aware that I was not alone. I was in the full gnosis of my sovereign presence and unification with Sophia, and walking, starting to explore. And I asked her, but why am I alone here? And she just said, for now, it is to just make yourself familiar with this new home that you're starting to create. And I could simultaneously experience myself as you would walk and just see this place we are walking, but I also simultaneously saw myself from a different perspective, walking on this planet. Yet it was huge. And I knew within me, this is what that our ascended crystalline earthly body is. I knew that. And as I was walking and started to explore, every time I saw almost like blocks of this plasma, but not in this whole liquid form, it was more in a form. And as I touched it, there was this, when you touch when there's two sparks of electricity coming together, there's this psh. As I touched it, there was a small little spark like that, and the it's almost like I was magnetized to that which I needed to touch. And as I touched it, the spark was there. And then that became more denser, that block in its expression. And then I started to play around, and I'm not going to share too much more than that. I don't think for this introductory video that's necessary, but I started to play with my crystalline nature. And two messages I want to give here before I move into closing this message. And the first message is that all of us are here to remember ourselves as the crystalline creators that we are, and give expression to that which is in our soulscapes that's waiting for us to move our awareness into it and start playing with bringing that into beingness. Hence, giving you that one small example, as you know, just as moving forward to, just give you another example, as moving forward to, yeah, already seeing a butterfly, and as I move forward to touch, that crystalline aspect becomes a butterfly in the most beautiful colors that's already been seen from me through it and us coming together. So the sovereignty of its nature coming into expression. So that's the one thing I want to share. And the other thing I would like to share is that there is this gnosis within all of us, that those aspects that we are here to create and then share with each other, and through doing so co-create, the vibration of that is bringing our new crystalline home into beingness. And it is through our sharing that we are activating each other to strengthen and solidify, is the word that comes to mind, that into beingness. And the second thing that I want to say to then just conclude this part of the sharing is that every single expression in your soulscape, which is all aspects of expressions of creation, so all the minerals, all the crystals, all the animals in all their expressions, all the plants in all their expressions, and all the humans in all their expressions, is to be remembered and seen in their highest crystalline, expanded, ascended nature. I know you know what I'm saying. So see that, and it will be so. Of course, you already know that. And then lastly, I will make a separate transmission about that. But what I'm hearing right now is to be shared here is that all that was, in all its expressions that you've walked through in physical form and spiritual form, has already been walked through. Every time when you talk about that again, talk about it in a way with the intention to create a new home for all of us. For example, what I'm saying is, it's not necessary to talk about Lemuria was all of this, because through the power of your presence, you are creating Lemuria again here. And the gnosis of my being know that we've already lived Lemuria as sages. We are not creating Lemuria again now. We are creating something new. And through our stewardship, our leadership, and our guardianship, we are co-creating on the foundations of sovereignty with the gnosis of our being, that we've seen all that was, and in every moment we will be guided to that which needs to be seen for it to be created in our guide, through our guidance, firstly, and secondly, that all ages, stages, and phases of that which we've already been through is the gnosis that creates the spaciousness through which we can freely then give expression to that which is there in that moment to be birthed. And having said all of that, thank you for for receiving me in my fullness, in my most joyous expression, which is both the purity and innocence and playfulness of that aspect of what I've been through, as well as the guardian and sage of the more evolved, mature aspects of myself, and knowing that all of that is who I am and who you are. And I loved sharing this with you. I love being in your presence and experiencing the joy and excitement of us all coming together as I'm feeling each one of you enter into my transmissions, and co-creating this new One Crystalline Home, the blue heart of the cosmos, that we are emanating out through the presence of who we know ourselves to be in our most sovereign, formless gnosis, giving expression to it in form. I love you dearly, I love you deeply, and I love you wholeheartedly. Until we see. Bye.